Okay, right, we need to get to the Enchantress, so we're going to sleep here tonight. I'm hungry. You know what? We have 9 dragon bones. This would add more to my appearance score. You know what? Yeah, let's rent the room. I'll pay the gold, or the dragon bone, sorry. The small room is quiet and far away from unwanted eyes. You take a calm bath, rest on a soft mattress, look through the window and enjoy the minutes of safety. In the morning you find a stool with a large wooden plate bearing an aromatic breakfast, a warm mutton stew and a cold yogurt. Downstairs the innkeeper is putting firewood onto the stove. He asks if you need anything. Any leftovers? No, not today, maybe tomorrow. Right, we want to be out as fast as possible because the Enchantress will only see me in the morning. Oh, well, this might not be classed as the morning anymore. Only one fly is feasting on the rotten carcass of a snake that's on the side of the road. You touch the cold shell and the monster's eyes grow red. Go inside, I'll be with you soon. The stone creature lets you in. I enter the yard. I bring news of your parents. She takes a deep breath. Tell me. I'm so sorry, Eudocia. She closes her eyes. Her voice becomes absent. Back to trade then. I'm going to lower the price of my spirit rocks for you by 2 dragons. I think that's fair. She opens her grey eyes and you notice the tears. Her voice is shaking. I need a moment. I'll brush my horse and give you time. Use this hour to rest from riding. You exercise for a bit, practice combat stances with your axe and brush Shadowmane, which then gladly takes a nap. When Eudocia leaves the house, she crouches by a bucket of water and washes her face. Once she straightens up and turns toward you, there's a shadow of a smile on her lips. I'm glad you stayed around, but I'll be fine. Is that all I can do for you? The roads around the watchtower are in terrible shape. Why don't the golems look after them? Oh, interesting question. Why would I bother? You expect to continue, but her question is earnest. The paths are getting overgrown. Soon getting to the other villages will be close to impossible. She twirls her hair, looking in the direction of the tower. It may be for the better. She starts listlessly, then shakes her head gently. You may be right. I hope the trial would take care of itself, or the trail even, with traders and all, but the years are getting emptier. Still, I need my workers to seek food, and to guard my walls. She speaks mostly to herself. I can bring you some rations in return. One moment, sorry, Millie's just being a menace to all society. Apologies, she was digging out cat food treats from the bin. You might say, why did you put cat food treats in the bin? It was the empty packet, but she will dig the entire bin out to get to the empty packet. Just for one last whiff of it, so I've had to lock her out my room. Yeah, I can bring you some rations in return. She observes your boots and crosses her arms. The more bronze rods there are spread across the peninsula, the easier it is for me to send the golems into the woods. For now, let's say 20 rations. I guess gentler roads will get me more food anyway, so I don't need you to bring me any barrels. I'll think about it. 20 food rations. You guys are insane. The monks seem to be quite afraid of you. Are they now? She meets your eyes. What did they tell ye? As you recollect your memory, she patiently listens to your tale, staring into the distance with her arms crossed. So that's how they see me now. A beast spending every breath to hurt them. Yet they still ask me to put spells in their tools. She remains still, moving only her lips, drawling out every word. All it took was for me to move on, to leave them behind. They call themselves pacifists, unlike bloodshedding unites, they say. Yet force my tribe to work for them, from their birth to the pyre. It's the same sickness of the soul, believing that ye see the truth, that all the other souls are blind. When she realizes that her voice is getting close to a shout, she falls silent. Can I collect my reward for the bronze rods? 12 dragon bones! Eudocia wipes her head on the robe and puts one in her pocket, and waits for you to describe the locations where you placed the rods. She asks for a few details and thinks aloud. Let's see, 4 rods in total, so that would be... here you go. I pull out my pouch. Holy moly, I'm rich. I can actually afford to get the gatekeeper guy to, you know, go to the inn. What's with the gargoyle? I need a place to rest. You seem to be afraid of bandits, Eudocia. She glanced at the gate. I'm not afraid. Glaucia is fucking terrifying. Here's a little tip and engrave it on your soul. She can't be reasoned with. If you're strong, threaten her. If weak, ask for a mercy, I guess. She wanted to work with me, but I need no right to know her soul is wicked. She takes a step toward you. I think they're somewhere in the deep woods. I don't know about these lands. I've got other stuff to worry about. There's only one place I know that could keep an entire band. An old lumberjack camp. But you won't reach it through any of the main roads, so... Ah, she steps back. That's that. Okay, so she's in the woods somewhere. And how much does it cost for the Spirit Rock? Oh, I'm buying the Spirit Rock. Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, so we can't quite now afford to help the gatekeeper guy. But freeing old Pagos, I think, is the next best thing I can do. And I think I need this to do it. So I'm going to head all the way back to the Beholder. 5 hours? How long have we got left? 10. Perfect. I approach the altar. I make an offering. I offer a magical item. So you could use... Oh, I could have used Withering Dust. We're going to use the Spirit Rock, though. As soon as you lay it on the stone slab, the pebble hisses for less than a single breath, then shatters into dozens of tiny rocks, not much larger than grains of sand. The tree greets your offering with the sound of moving, stretching branches. I try something else. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? It still wants more. I don't want to look into the water. Oh, what's in the water? You step cautiously without knowing how deep it gets. I don't want to go in the water. You have to consider that a sound could be camouflaged in the mud, waiting for a victim to get near. Since you don't plan to kneel down and drink, you're hoping to dodge a potential strike. Once you get closer, you start breathing again. While the water is dirty, it's also shallow. You see the vegetation, swimming insects, and even a small fish. All of them stay away from the tree roots, which look like a spiderweb covering the bottom of a pond. Aside from that, you don't see anything that would catch your attention. Let me look at the roots closer. You kneel in front of one that's lying on the shore. It's brown, covered with hair that resembles that on your arm. When you touch it, it's moist, soft, and warm you'd expect. I do something with it. Oh. Wait, is this something I want, maybe? Cave air mushroom, snake bite, cursed soil. You know what? I stand up. Until I've done this quest line, let's not desecrate the altar. I typically make it, you know, a goal in life not to desecrate altars. So, that is my decision. Right, so I've got rod here, rod here, rod here, rod here. I need to get back to the White Marshes, I suppose. Actually, let's head back to the ford and use that mosquito stuff. Time to test the ointment I carry in my bundles. You open the ointment, getting hit by unappetizing scent of lavender, mint, and basil. You apply a thin layer of balm to your open skin as well as a few spread out spots on shadow mane. You hope the smell won't stay too long. You carry on. The swarm notices you right away, gliding at you like a dark boulder. But before you collide with it, it shatters, forming a tunnel in the middle, though buzzing even louder than before. A few extraordinarily resilient gnats still sit on your horse's back, so you try to throw them off. Riding through here is safer now. Brilliant. And I guess we just need to go to Foggies. Well, let's stop via the garden. Forage for wild plants, please. Can I actually make it to Foggies now? I can still. It doesn't take too long to get the traps back in, right? It's the trap. We caught a fish. Set the trap again. You need to look for worms again, but at least sealing the lids takes only a moment. Okay, so we have no more worms, sure. Let's get me back to Foggy. I enter the tavern. I approach Foggy. So the next job. Still interested. I have a message to Easton, the innkeeper of the Pelt of the North. His place in the far south, yeah, I was just there. A huge bother for both of us to get there. A bother worth, let's say, 3 dragons. She sits down on a stool and looks you in the eyes. The scars and wrinkles on her thoughtful face could belong to a statue. Tell him we're still trading. I'm running out of patience. Remember it well, I. Bring me the answer, only then you'll get paid. It may be better for you to tell me what this is all about. She frowns. I don't ask you to negotiate in my name. Though I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell you. Earson and I were thinking about working together. He'd invest in my place and would get his share of profits in the future, and a shelter for his hunters. He was meant to send me the first pouch of dragons, but has fallen silent. I want to know where we stand. I'll do it. That's not a huge issue for me. More question about the peninsula. I might actually ask her about the abandoned watchtower. Does she know anything about that? The watchtower used to be a safe shelter. She looks through the door. Its walls could stop even larger beasts. Well, maybe not a dragon, but there are no soldiers around here, and without traders, also no mercenaries. We asked adventurers to occupy it, but all they did was grab what they could, hunt for a bit, and then went away. Eudocia the Enchantress says she cares not about keeping the tower in one piece. We don't even know the key to the main door. It's in Gale Rocks. Okay. We can only wait and see how many years it will take before it turns to ruin. You ask her what you can find near the watchtower. Eudocia is to the east, the road through the heart of the forest to the west. Far away to the south you'll find a dolmen, but no soul looks after it anymore. The road north leads here, through the stone bridge and foraging grounds. How about... I also want to ask about the cabin. The cabin in the woods. My tribesfolk from Creeps built it for hunters years back. A damn mistake of ours. Runners ate 2 of my friends before we finished construction. We should have waited for a few more years, let the animals get used to us. But now the roads are not much better. Okay. I think we asked about the Wanderer. Okay, thanks. I have something I'm willing to part with. She doesn't want any of it, sure. Oh, and I can buy... Oh, I've already got 2 meals left here. I'd like to eat. Delicious. Okay, we're going to sleep here then. Probably the best place to sleep anyway. Cost me 2 food. Yeah, it's not ideal. I lose a bit of a heart. But I'm trying to store up a little bit of food and money right now, so... Let's sleep a bit rough. It's an exhausting night. Shadowing keeps stepping in place or walking, taking only short naps. You can't count how many times you tried to calm it down. With your voice, touch and by offering it water or a snack. You close your eyes for an hour or so late in the morning and clean up off your mount. The stench alone is disarming. Right. I head outside. I approach the foragers. Have you ever met Eristus the Trapper? They exchange looks as Svea adjusts his dark cloak. We don't hunt all that much. Just catch birds and so on. Why don't you try and creeps? Alright. I was also hoping to leave a bronze rod here, but sure. Let me go back to the peat fields, maybe? I want to talk to this guy anyway. Let's go to the peat fields. An outraged shout of birds fills the bogs. Suddenly, more than 20 brown birds take off from the grasses, scared off by the sound of hooves. Thyrsus is sitting on the bench observing your arrival as he grinds something into a mortar. But once he greets him, he leaves his tools behind and moves to the edge of the scarp. The creepers idly hang from his arms, resting on the ground. Are you telling me you're wandering the pogs because you wanted to do so? You refuse to accept the new order of things in these necromancers practice. There's a man living in Gale Rocks who tries to heal his speller's daughter. The warlock cuts in right after you mention Eudocia Rock. Whatever it is, there's no way anyone other than the real prophet would help that girl. Numa's weak in my tribe, you know. Myself, I'm gifted, yep, but I had no teachers here. He shrugs his arms, making the creepers bend upward. Took a pagan priest from Howls Dell to help me twist more than a twig. Okay. If there was a way to put Numa in shells, for good, people would kill to find it. Okay. Are you in the bogs because of the necromantic practices? He sits on the bench. Do I care who made me leave the walls? Arrhenius didn't want me there, but I didn't want to stay. To stop him now, you need a band, and I'll tear off your head sooner than I'd bring a threat to my tribe. You reach towards your blade, but the creepers remain idle. You're stepping into a treant branch. Seeing your frown, quickly, the grass gets tighter the more you move, you see. Forget it. He waves it off. Why do you care about any of that? Let my people choose their path. The dead shells deserve to rest, they're being enslaved. The undead will turn dangerous, we just don't know when. Your tribe's becoming an outcast, soon no merchants will want to trade with necromancers. Right side, come on, Thyrus. Oh, Thyrusus. You know just as well as I do, this is wrong. The undead will turn dangerous, we just don't know when. He nods. This is what I told him. But Arrhenius, sure, he's a prophet. He doesn't listen. He leans forward, paying close attention to your eyes. What's your plan once you get to him? I think for a moment before I speak, whatever's necessary to stop him, I'll talk to him, make him realize he's wrong. I want to learn what pushed him to do all this. He must have his reasons, or I'll improvise. I want to know what his reasons are behind this. He freezes, as if he barely understands what you mean. This may be a good first step. But then he needs some persuading, and it won't be as easy as you think. He gives you a warm look, then stands up slowly and looks at the clouds. All I can do is find a way to let you into his house, and you'll have about one chance. If you convince me you're trusted. I pat my bundles. Do I have anything that could convince you? He licks his lips, but then looks away. I'd rather not look. Alright, we'll return to this later. You're training with the druids. The forest speakers, his mocking voice makes him sound like a brat. I left when I was a teen, 10 years ago, if not more. After everything went to shit. He suddenly pauses and waves off. After a few more questions, he speaks slowly, observing your eyes. Don't get me wrong, I did learn a lot. Especially from that old one man. But his daughter kept making me meditate, and I'm not one to sit still. His amulets rattle from his flinch. We paid them for teaching me, but they broke their word, kept telling me spirits lumber and for rights poison. After his annoyed scoff, he bites his tongue and taps his toes nervously. You ask about the old man, but Thyrusus runs out of patience. I don't know. The one with the real gift. He guided all the ceremonies, yet was arguing with others all the time. I don't care. He was good for nothing, like Ofstum. I need to meet with Arrhenius. Can you open the path to the White Marshes? How about these wild fruits? Right, see you later. Let me go back to White Marshes. On your way to the village, you see a girl no older than 15 walking through the tall purple grasses, along with a few other youngsters. After she notices your arrival, she runs towards the road, waving to draw your attention. I stop. Can I help you? It takes her a few moments to reach you. Her clothes are baggy, appropriately so for her age, but she's also rather scraggy for a labourer. She carries a slingshot and a simple backpack made of creepers and twigs, filled with green leaves, wild fruits, and a dead squirrel lying on its surface. After your question, she gives you a curious glance. Roadwarden, parents told me. Not sure which part of it is a question, you nod in agreement. But what is that one does really? Hunt bounties? I mostly patrol the roads and travel between villages. Some road wardens seek bounties, yes, but I do all sorts of things. I'm not here to chat. If you have a job for me, speak, otherwise I'll be on my way. No, the first one. Oh, you're an adventurer then? She makes an odd, displeased grimace. then sneezes and smiles at you. Not really. Adventurers are paid to do odd jobs, but often don't follow the city's laws, nor the local ones, unlike Roadwardens. Or close enough. You know what? Close enough. She meets your eyes proudly, purses her lips, and then runs back to the rest of her group. The village is filled with the unbearable noise of construction, yet the undead labourers take no breaks. Don't gasp for air, don't stop to look around. The locals avoid them or scowl at them whenever they get close. You notice a skinny woman with a blue headscarf. She stares at your mount like a wolf and elk. I notice Valen standing next to a shed. I'll say hi to him. He's moving small packages, bringing order to some neglected shelves. His eyes are red from crying, but he greets you with a strong voice and a polite smile. This time, he's wearing a decent blue tunic. Back with Zandalono. There's been a long time since I saw some visiting our home as often as you do. That's how my job works. I go where others don't. He gives you a long look, as if he's not sure if it's meant to be an insult, then turns back to the bags. I'm looking after our grain and dried meat before fall comes, thanks to... He draws in the air and lowers his voice. Arentius help. We've more food than in many years, but now we need to figure out what goes to our bellies, what back to the soil. I may have some supplies I could spare. Want to take a look? Oh... He wants 2 fish? 8 bundles of plants? And I'm not selling you 3 food rations. No. See you later. Address the guards. People from other tribes are looking for spouses. The taller gatekeeper gives you a long look. We need no matchmaker here. All use work to do. Only then they're free to go wherever they want. After you ask the villagers over to invite new dwellers, he snorts. You think they're going to move to the village of the dead? Good joke. Alright. Behind door number 1 on, blind date. Not appetizing. He's 6'1". He has long grey hair. His skin is falling off his bones. It's the undead. And everyone, cries, not applauds. How about Helvius? He meets your eyes, waiting for you to speak. Have you ever met Cassia? She's a warrior from Gale Rocks. Who? You repeat your question, but he shrugs. I know of many great warriors from her tribe. They're a disciplined bunch, but not a single tale about the woman has reached me. This is never going to work. You to see the Enchantress would like to place his rod in your village somewhere high. Would that be a problem? See what? Let me see. He swings the hollow piece of bronze like a sword made from a branch, then raises it above his head, staring at it with little patience. A lightning catcher or a toy? Well, he gives it back. Come one day before noon. You'll go out with the foragers as a guard, work with them for half a day, and we'll put it up in a tree on the roof, mayhap. I'll do the work, fine. Oh my god, that cost me a lot. After half an hour or so, the expedition is ready. 6 souls, none of them older than 40, and with no one dead to assist them. Too dumb, the oldest woman explains. And we've no overseer with us. Their accents are heavy, but they rarely address you. For most of the time, they exchange single-word commands, gesturing for you to quiet down whenever you step on a branch. You spend half a day following the bog pass, but also going deeper into the wilderness. As a group, you manage to scare away the smaller beasts, and your guide claims to lead you around the hunting territory to the larger predators. From time to time, you keep what looks to you like the most inconvenient trails in sight. Yet no one objects. You cross the muds, shallow waters, and ancient dark game trails, tracking any movement amongst the leaves and grasses. Hungry and annoyed by the insects, you go back to White Marshes, carrying baskets and sacks full of mushrooms, berries, herbs, and great leaves, but also a few birds and furry critters. As we head to the village, I follow the guide patiently. I hardly pay attention to the group, I just look for monsters, that's all. We'll follow the guide patiently. Helvius waits for you at the gate, nodding with approval. 2 steps away from him, you see a short corpse, bare-boned above its waist, but still wearing pants and carrying scraps of meat on its feet. Not giving you a moment for breath, the mayor tells you to fetch him a rod. After you do so, he throws it at the undead, bouncing the rod off its head with a thud, and starts to laugh. Go on now, he commands it. Put it on the tree and tie it with a rope. His worker bows down to pick up the tools and obediently walks away. I grab his shoulder. We had a deal. He gives you a puzzled look and tries to wrench himself away, but your strong grasp doesn't make it easy. There are no trees inside, you dumb toad. He stops suddenly, and after a long pause calls for the undead to come back. I'll find a tall building. You let him go and walk back to your bundles, where you quench your thirst. Okay, perfect. Did that take a rod out of me, Eve? It has. Perfect. Right, so we have one inside the village now. Perfect. Approach the one who observes Shadowmane. She moves away but meets your eyes and makes a smile-like grimace, then leads you behind the empty animal pen, away from the guard's ears. Her grey hair, mostly covered, is deceiving. She's no older than 30, yet her face is marked by insect bites and pustule scars. She takes confident steps even though she wears muddy foot wraps without boots and a worn, simple skirt. She squeezes the front of a scarf on her chest, shaping into something like a short hooded cloak. A warden, I heard. She answers you by nodding, by pursing her lips. I need you to ride somewhere for me. Tell me. Far away from here, at the eastern road, there's an old bridge made of a single rock. I've seen it. She doesn't look away for a single heartbeat. Her gaunt face is pale and makes her large grey eyes look as if someone took their colour away. Beneath it there's a rock, and beneath the rock a purse with my savings. Bring it to me. Before you mention your reward, she starts to speak faster, giving the men at the gate a nervous glance. Half of what you'll find is yours, bring me the rest. Oh, I've already found it. How much should be there? I'd rather ask you a few questions about the village instead. Are you sure it's yours? Are you in trouble? Would Helvius approve of this? I've already found it. She gives you a puzzled look, maybe wondering how to ask what pushed you to dig in the muddy riverbanks. But after seeing the curious looks of the guard, she leads you behind a turf house and simply reaches out to you with an open palm. The pouch was torn and rotten. Here, the only dragon bone I found. She looks at the sky and to the ground. For 2 heartbeats, she can't stop herself from revealing the despair in her eyes. But she then adjusts her headscarf, takes a deep breath, and moves her shoulders. I've not even a fistful of blueberries to thank you, stranger. But I'll tell the rest of the village you're a trustworthy messenger if anyone asks. Hardly anyone does around here. She hobbles away, splashing mud with every step. Right. Well, that was depressing. You don't want anything of mine, right? Yeah. See you later. Helvius, do you want anything? He doesn't want anything. Oh, I could tell him about the woman that asked him to find her savings. No. I refuse. Is there a room to rent? I guess. One of them sighs and tells you to wait where you're standing. After a few minutes, a group of locals approaches the more neglected turf house and starts to empty it. They take out old crates, rags, casks, bricks, then leave them by the outer wall, at least for now. There's an old shed, explains the guard. There you won't bother anyone. We'll be ready before you need it. Okay, well, I don't need it right now. Sorry. Am I allowed to leave, please? I am. God, I don't want to go to the creepers because it scares the hell out of me. But I've not been in here in so long. And there's a place where there's cursed ground, and I have no idea where it is. My only assumption is either here or the peat fields. The thick air makes you want to take a deep breath, but the scent of decomposing flesh makes it a risky adventure. The root-like creepers are raised at an angle, moving up and down slowly in the rhythm of a heartbeat. Right, there's nothing here. Sure. Sure. Foggy, I'm going to stop at your place again on the way back. I must have asked about this. Abandoned hamlet. Excuse me? Oh, you haven't heard of such a place. It's literally... Oh, it's called an abandoned place, sorry. Wes. God damn you. Small hamlet. Cursed. Okay. Okay, just push all the buttons, that's fine. Where is this cursed place? I wish I could, like, search this for specific things. Is there a cursed thing here? Curses and blessings. That's not that useful. I need to go back up to Gale Rocks. That's one thing I do need to do. The archive won't help me. Where was this cursed earth place? I have no idea. You know what? Maybe let's head up to the creeks first before I do that. I've not been there for a while. Sorry. See you later. Actually, no. I'd like to eat my last meal. Thank you. And also, it's 2 hours before dusk. Can I make it back to here? And actually, am I allowed to stay there? 45 minutes. We have enough time. Maybe there are some locals looking for a match in other villages. After a few minutes, you find yourself sitting at a table with Shoshi, a dark-haired 20-year-old who some would call a woodcutter, others a singer. Ooh, or both of these roles. Her massive stature must be of help. When she walks, she either carries a large axe on her shoulders or swings it around, towering over her tribesfolk, like a chieftain from the Tales of War. She admits she enjoys a friendly shag from time to time. Who doesn't, honestly? But can't see a future for her in creeks. Enough of these friends lose their lives in the wilderness. I start seeing cats and gargoyles in every shadow. I'd rather have a few calm, safe years at the side of a pretty little woman whom I'll see in my bed in the evenings. Though you know, friend, not just her. She lets out a sonorous laughter. You mentioned that you don't know if she'll be able to keep her trade after moving away, and she strokes her axe with affection. I'd miss the woods, but who knows? My tribe can't be the only one that cuts trees around here, aye? You tried to ask her about her worldview, but she gets bored by the topic. We here, she looks around, have no temples and priests, and I don't aim to become one. Alright, see you later. So we found a lady, Shoshi. Can I wash in the shallow creek? Yes. Perfect. Then I want to talk to Ephron. Have you ever heard of... have you ever had an opportunity to work with Erastus from Howls Dell and Castor from Gale Rocks? Do they know their trade? Aye, with both of them. But I'd rather hunt for frogs than waste my time teaching them both how to not trip over their own feet. He rubs his forehead of his wolf, not aware of what you're waiting for him to tell you more. What, surprised? He finally adds. Erastus barely knows how to catch a rabbit or a sparrow. He's as much of a trapper as a child with a stick as a soldier. And Cassia is even worse. Big mouth, sure, but whenever we seek blades at Gale Rocks to help us catch big prey, she suddenly gets a headache. Ah. Okay. Good hunting. Actually, do you have any more things here? No. Good hunting. Farmer, what do you have? A roast chicken. Don't need it. The carpenter, Eastern Path, I've told him everything. Alright, well, see you later. I can get back to Foggies in time. We'll have a little rest at Foggies, and I'll head up to Gale Rocks again. God. I'll rent the room again. Just to give me the heart back. Right, it's raining, muddy road, so it's going to take longer for me to get around. What are we on? Day 18 now. Right, go back to Gale Rocks. So, I was meant to speak to Cassie for Dalit. Hey, any locals behind door number 3? Well, the vast majority of the locals see this place as their home, and even feel indebted to their families and neighbours for looking after them. Paulus seeks a different path. He isn't even 20, but trained to work on the beach. He's strong, slim, and a bit loud. I can even hunt for fish, if that's the only work left, he admits when asked about his plans for the future. Just not here. Not after all them neighbours turned a blind eye toward my harpy of a mother. He reveals the scars on his back left by willow withies. You mention religion, and he shrugs without a second thought. I can do whatever, barring wicked spells. You make sure he means necromancy and blood magic. Right. All I want is a companion for the mornings and evenings. A woman with a kind soul, and if good winds allow us, to be the mother of our children. I'm ready to work for them till I faint, he flexes his muscles. I gauge my arm for that. Marina is a few years older, but much shorter, pale and with dark circles under her eyes. While she hopes to find a wife or a husband, she won't leave the village. I have a 6-year-old. His father went into the Foggies on a foraging trip. I'd love to have more kids, but my forebears have been living in this village for longer than anyone can tell, and I'd rather not make our blood too thick. You're going to struggle to have any more kids with a wife, by the way. Just going to point that out. Honestly, who knows, though? Maybe in the world of the Roadwarden, they have some genetic engineering and IVF. I don't know. You ask about what sorts of traits she's looking for. Someone kind, loyal, serious, and diligent. No matter if they're a water carrier or an artisan. My own back is weak, it is. Suffers after standing for long hours. I help with fish smoking, cleaning, foraging, whatever there is to do. When asked about her conviction, she looks at you as if the question is beyond absurd. I won't lie with a lad or a lass that's strange to Wright's teachings. Marina? Shoshi's your guy. She looks around nervously, and her voice is low and hesitant. An open relationship, as if, seeing her blush, you nod. Our forebears would encourage such ways of living. Does she pray? When you mention that her village in general seems to not put too much importance on the matter of faith, she seems to lose hope. Is she pretty at all? She says without meeting your eyes. You try to answer some more specific questions, making your interest suddenly grow. If she's really if she's really looking for safe, slow days, ask her if she's willing to abandon this weird wish. Tell her, she pauses, then straightens up and speaks with confidence, as if she's reciting an old story. Tell her this, outsider. You can find love of a soul and shell with me, and a new path free of empty cravings. You won't ever look back and regret it. Paulus, how about Timo from Howlers? Quite a catch, huh? He asks you a few additional questions, some of which are centered around Timo's face and figure, and spoken with embarrassment, then flashes you, pardon? Oh, a white smile. Right, she sounds dreamy. If she's in, I'm in. Let me know what she thinks about me. Alright, see you later. Cassie for Dalit, right. Finding her takes quite a few minutes. The other guards claim that she's patrolling the grounds around the village, but you find her sitting against the western wall. Once she sees you, she straightens up, greeting you with spread arms. An outsider in our delightful village. Her shouts make you stop long before you reach her. And how can I be of service? Do you need help with bloodthirsty beasts? Are there treacherous bandits chasing after you? Have you lost the taste of life? The sudden laughter makes the pigeons fly away. Speak, speak! Dalit heard you like to be a huntress. Splendid! As long as you can promise we'll head to Porcia for a filling dinner first, I am ready to leave first thing in the morning. Her voice remains loud, adding to her confident gestures and a cheerful stance. She's wearing a decent gambeson, but it's lazily put on without tightening the straps and cords, matching her loose, dirty, short hair. She's large, both tall and wide, but has a prominent stomach. The only weapon she's carrying is a club longer than your arm, and she swings it with enthusiasm. Her dark yellow eyes are as large as dragon bones, but you can't read much from them. Tell me about your talents. And where am I to start? She raises her club above her head. I can crush, I can smash. Excuse me? This is the matchmaking quest. Don't worry about the matchmaking quest. We'll find you some for that. Oh, you don't mean that. I can catch. I can dispatch. She takes a wide swing and steps forward. I tore out the first harpy head when I was 8. Bare hands. She shows you her open palm, twice the size of most humans. Troll hands, sisters called me. Until she hits the air between the two of you. Fighting is one thing, but the wildness takes cunning. You catch the glimpse of her hesitation when she narrows her eyes, but she soon returns to her loud self. Are you this eager to hear the tales of my deeds? Want me to tell you how I lifted the curse blocking the mountain trail? Or how I led them saurians away from our pier? Without me, this place, she kicks the wall next to her, would have fallen long ago. Are you not satisfied with living here? Ah, great home, great people, she assures you. Great fish and salt. But the beasts, the space to grow? She moves her right hand in front of her eye, holding the thumb and index finger just slightly spread apart. Tiny. Before I ask you to go anywhere, I want to hear what your tribe has to say about you. Suddenly she looks down and clears her throat, then points at you with her weapon. You ain't saying you don't believe me, do you, stranger? Before you respond, she bursts into laughter. I guess so. We're a busy tribe. I bet I don't hear you're causing trouble around here. Cheers. She says the last few words while being turned away from, heading to the top of the nearest hill. I leave her alone. Okay. I want to speak to the fishers briefly, because I did speak to the monks of the monastery. I head to the fishers. Is Cassie working with you often? His eyes narrow. I used to, now I don't. Such are the things. She's an annoying lass, but that's about it. Okay, if she's annoying, that is something that, you can deal with. If she is actually capable, then fine. About the spirit rock. Let's discuss this once more. Okay, I travelled to an old druid you had mentioned. He's convinced you need to accept the way the spirits shape your daughter's soul, not change it. Spirits? Why would you even listen to this pagan nonsense? He's just pushing the lies onto you, he is. Alien, the voice of the monastery, says that you need to forget the tales about being soulless. Not casting spells doesn't make someone a lesser human. Wright's tablets are clear on that. How does he... He suddenly scowls at you. Fine, if the monks say the Wright says so, I'll believe it. But wouldn't you try to heal a cut arm or a broken back? Even if her soul is, well, in her, it's going to struggle. Virus the Warlock from the White Marshes told me his village is weak in humour, and if there would be any way to prevent spelllessness, his people would do everything to find it, but there's none. He looks at you in silence. All these people. You travel to all these places to make sure I won't hurt Phoebe? He observes you in silence and tells you to wait a few moments. After his return, he hands you a few dragon bones. That's for all the riding. Forget about the stone. He looks north. I don't know what to think about all this. Do you need anything else? Why does Cassian annoy you? He shrugs. There are a few times she told me she was asked to guard the gate, but then it turned out she told the guards back home that I asked her for help. She was merely idling about, like a child. The fishers don't need someone like this around here. Okay. That's not annoying, that is just, untrustworthy. That's more of an issue for a hunter. Right, see you later. Going back to Gale Rocks, I want to talk to some people here. Do some matchmaking, maybe. Bathman. Any thoughts on Cassia Bathman? And I'm not asking, bath-related things. He looks into a bucket as if seeking escape from your gaze. Nah, it's not right. Talking behind one's back with a stranger. Oh, you'll be washed with a tub full of water. Oh, I could work to get clean. And a bottle of perfume. Okay, I'll work for 2 hours to make me a little bit cleaner. Perfect. How about Fulvia? Do you know who Cassia is? She needs a moment to think. Rafina's sister, last time I spoke with her, she was but a small lass. Ah, let's speak to Rufina then. I'm trying to learn more about Cassia the Guard. She doesn't look at you, but her hands start to move faster. And why would I be the one to ask her about? Fulvia mentioned Cassia as your sister. She puts away her tools, leans away, and meets your eyes. You tried to hire for something, alright? She's difficult. Taught herself lies said with a strong voice and confident chest can take one far, but ain't a good path in her tribe. Like all souls, she has good sides and bad sides, but is too afraid to admit the latter. You chat for a few more moments, while the tailor's words are harsh. She can't hide the sadness of her voice. No, I can't afford any of this right now. I need to save 17 dragon bones. Severina, what are your thoughts on Cassia? The thought I'm bearing right now is that I'd rather not spread rumours about those I look after. Her annoyed eyes contradict her calm voice. Can't you bother the elders with such questions, or speak with Petronius, the gossip? He'll be happy to share with you all the dirty laundry he touched. Petronius? Who the fuck is Petronius? Hang on a minute. Let me write this down. Petronius. Considering the people of your village follow the right, I'm surprised you're not pressured into taking action against the undead and white marshes. And what do you think we ought to do? Encourage them by taking their land? Or startle their wild game? Maybe torch their roofs? She takes an awkwardly long pause, yet as you start to answer, she instantly cuts in. We have no plans to conquer or pillage their homes, and while some of us would like to take matters into their own hands, I ain't risking our lives in battle with mere heretics. Without walls, we'll have nothing to keep us safe. Right, I say nothing. Right, see you later. Okay! I'm looking for someone. Petronius! You realise there's been someone following you around, or at least accidentally showing up wherever you go. Bored with walking around, he spares you a smirk. He's a short man dressed in a worn grey black woolen robe, with a belt as wide as your hand, and a buckle decorated with a large shell, now placed annoyingly just 2 inches away from the centre of his stomach. He may only be 30, but it's clear why he has no task to bother with. His fingers are paralysed at unnatural angles. Oh. Spread like an osseous tree branches. While he's capable of moving around both of his arms slightly, they are constantly bent both at the elbows, and at the wrists. He's wearing no boots. I've got a few questions. Holy shit, I have more than a few questions. I know. He nods to you to follow him and leads you to the orchard, where you stay in the shadow of a cherry tree. Right, he looks around, scowling at a nearby kid, who instantly turns around and gets out of your sight. Name's Petronius. I can be your guide. His soft voice is close to a whisper. 1 coin, 1 question. He looks at a small leather sack hanging from his neck. No backsies. You decide my answers ain't worth it, you stop asking. Oh, okay. So I can pay for information. Oh my god, I could search for all the artisans in the village. I will only pay you about... Oh, I was told something about an old lumberjack hamlet. Okay, I'm willing to pay about this. He tells you to put away the dragon. I can't help you with this one. I know there used to be such a place, but I never left my home. Better ask a lumberjack or someone who knows the peninsula well, if there are such people left. Okay. Sure. Is Cassia trustworthy? You push a dragon bone into the sack of his neck. The opposite, he straightens up. Can't stop lying. Can't stop arguing and used to drink until she fell to the ground. Until she was banned by the head woman once. She fell into the stream. Almost drowned. He glances east. Something's wrong with her. Fulvia isn't just any elder, am I right? You are. She spent most of her young days, and even some of the nights on the roads, chiefly on the path leading through the heart of the woods. She never got wounded, yet with her years, her eyes gave up. The right laughs when we feel safe. Right, let's talk later. Okay, there's still more people here. Tatius? What, did you instruct Cassia? You can't read much from his absent eyes. Yeah. Right, what have you got? You've got a shield. I really don't want to spend my money right now, though. And I keep spending my money. Navica. No. Luno. What can you tell me about Cassia? Ain't you one of the guards? I don't bother with kids' problems. She looks forward and makes a telling nod. Speak with Tatius there. He trains with every single fighter in the tribe, he does. He won't speak with me. Great. Maybe I have to grease his palms by, buying something. Is Cassia a decent archer? He shakes his head, makes sure he heard you right, and snorts. Why, rightly not. She's lucky to have muscles that she can handle a club. She ain't getting anything as precise as this. He wags an arrow at you. Alright, I think the trapper may be the better option. He may be shit, but he seems willing. She is unwilling and potentially shit. Do I buy something just to try and get some more intel? I'm not used to using a shield in combat though, so it seems pointless. It's like the game is warning me like, yeah, if you buy this, you're wasting your money. Or you're just going to have to sell it again. How far can I go? Back to Foggies again, maybe? Okay, Foggies, trap. I have to go all the way back to the Pelt of the North. And I need to deal with the lumber camp, which I can't help but think is this cabin here. And maybe we speak to the Howls Dell about that, because they seem to be pretty lumber intensive. Okay, take me back to Foggy. Enter the tavern. I approach Foggy. Can you tell me about the lumber camp? I haven't heard of such a place. What was it called, sorry? Oh, I can't see it anymore. I'm sure it was called a lumber camp, right? Okay. Do I have it in my journal? No. How about the ruined village? Steep house, aye. It keeps coming back to me. The poor little place. Those ruins used to be the richest village in the north, placed so close to the pass, through Hag Hills. Perfect for traders and travellers. Her eyes show sorrow. They cared about the southern road, unlike the hunters from Pelt. They farmed to look after their forest garden, and yet... She looks away and puts a thumb on her scarred lips. They wouldn't have done better spending their dragons on a proper wall. Not that pitiful palisade of theirs. They were inviting monsters. Okay. Thanks. Well... Oh, 5 hours before dusk. Oh, it's because it's wet, right? Oh, no, it's not because it's wet. Oh, sweet, I can get back then. Sorry, see you later. I go outside. I just can't make it all the way down here, and I couldn't make it to there. And I can't get it to there, surprisingly. Okay. Well, if I can get back to Howls Dell, that'll do. It's still empty, sure. Not surprising. Anything in the forest gardens? No. Alright, take me back to Howls Dell. We gossip for a bit before we enter the village. I enter the village. Too late to ask, Taylor's closed. Timo! She's at the creek but takes a break to speak with you, apologising for a crude appearance. She gasps for air with her hands on her knees but looks you directly in the eyes. I tell about Paul's from Gale Rocks. Sounds like a worker, but make sure he will knee oppose the marriage rites. His village follows the rite. I need his word he'll leave his spirit behind him if he agrees. Her teeth is yellowish but healthy. He can come in fall. We'll see how we get along. Right, I'll go back at some point and tell him. Elpis, do you have anything for me to talk about? No. Eric's. I've got another fish to sell. Take one. Perfect. And he gave me a ration. Mayor? Seems like Earson is looking to purchase Foggy Lake. That's far from ideal. Allowing two inns to be controlled by a single soul may cause trouble for the third one. She points at Ape Ale with her thumb. And in this case, the third one is the one that really matters. She leans back and starts to tap the table with her fingers. Right. I'm done. I'm done being your lackey, Vice. You're not paying me for it. If it's night time, I will sleep. I really don't want to spend money. Money! Okay. Just sleep on the Mouflon pelt. The dark skies don't let it go. It's yet another night of rainfall. God damn it, never a break. Right, Trader's not around. Actually, no, you don't want, I don't want to give you the bronze rods. I can't afford the battle axe. I would... I just don't see how I can make all the money I need right now. You know what? I will actually do your job this time. Right. I will work for 1 gold, securing the fields. Perfect. Didn't have much to do. Excellent. It might be a point where I just have to do these odd-end jobs every now and again, just to earn enough money to get to that 17 dragon bones. Enter the inn. Go to the Innkeeper. Foggy has a message for you. The Innkeeper listens to Foggy's words patiently, then crosses his arms and leans back, lost in his thoughts. Seems like she won't be played so easily. After you mention the answer, he tells you to relax. You'll have it soon. See, I've lost her first share. Asterion was meant to deliver it to her. Never happened. I don't want to waste more. But she doesn't need to know it. He raises a bowl that sits nearby and reveals a few dragon bones. He counts off 5 of them. Tell her this Asterion lost your coin. I'm now in debt. Let's be partners for now. I'll send you more once I have it. But I won't promise anything. He pushes the coins towards you, observing them like a hawk. They are yours. Just help me keep the charade going. Now and later. It's important to me. Oh, I take the coins and lie, or I take the coins and I'll cover for you. Haha. I won't lie to her. This is difficult because both these people have been very kind to me. God, I don't know. I mean, if I say now as well, I won't lie to her, is he going to rough me up? Because, like, I know already. He's told me. So there is... I think this balance isn't quite the same that I'm thinking. It's not 50-50. I don't think it's necessarily... You know, I help... What are you called? Earson? It's not even I help this guy or Foggy. Because also if I help Foggy, I help the people at Howls Dell. Because then it's probably more likely to have these as 2 separate inns, not under the same, you know, organization. So I could gain favor with them. Why even bother? Let's ask about this. He makes a nervous hiss as he breathes through his teeth. I plan to sell her furs in late autumn, and I hope she'll keep sending people here whenever they stop at her place. I want to stay on her good side. She doesn't get hurt in any way, but I'll spread a good word about her if it comes to it. And if the winds change and the city folk start training her once the road gets safer, he meets your eyes and may return to our deal. Foggy has the only access to an alchemy table as well that I have. But if... Oh my god. Honestly, the logical thing I think right now is that I lied to this guy and I tell Foggy about this. My reasoning being, Foggies is like the one place I can rest in the north which isn't completely, dog do. It's pretty okay to rest here. It's annoying to get into the White Marshes. I have to, get through the creepers. Gale Rocks, you have to work for half a day. The creeks won't even let you rest there. And there's no chance I'm getting into this cabins again because I'm going to get murdered by wolves. On the south path, however, you can normally get between Howls Dell and probably could stay in the Dolmen as well if I absolutely needed to. And I possibly could get the Elders, to be on my side. But it is a little bit difficult. Like, getting any of these guys on my bad side is kind of annoying. I won't lie to her. I'm gonna get murdered though if I say that. It's still really bad. I'll cover for you. Any leftovers? Yep, you're lucky. I was planning to give it to the boar. He goes to the stove and in a couple of minutes prepares you a meal. Here, you see a nettle tisane and a simple root stew with hardly any meat in it. Honestly, that sounds still pretty delicious. Root vegetables, I think all of them are delicious. While you're eating, ask if there's anything else you need. I got Glacia's band. He wants me to find her. I take a look at the main hall. Okay, that just gets me to go back. I'd like to ask about someone. I don't think there is someone I need to worry about too much. Let's change topic. Right, head to the guards. I met Quintus, the one who trained your team. He may need your help. Did I tell them about this already? About the hunters you wanted me to recruit, sorry. Why not hire Quintus? Oh my god, this is the answer to everything. Why not hire Quintus? Your question sparks playful comments from her companions. He's a great friend, she admits, but he can't be trusted with more delicate tasks. When possible, we'd rather avoid using muscles alone. What matters the most is getting out of trouble with as few scratches as possible. Alright, I'll tell you what I know about Erastos. Can't say you dispelled my doubts, she sighs. I'd rather invite someone who knows how to fight when it comes to it, and won't flee without an order. Hear about Cassia. It sounds like no matter her talents, or the lack thereof, she's got a harpy of an attitude. She summarises your tale and tries to push aside the hair on her forehead. Maybe better to spare ourselves the trouble after all. Any tips on how to handle this? This is irrelevant. Now, I've already done it. So who are you going to hire? She attempts to move her hair behind her shoulders. I guess Erastos ain't hopeless, and as long as he's going to focus on the traps, maybe he won't ruin any hunts. We'll go to Howls before winter, speak with him ourselves. She prepares a pouch and counts 5 rings. Thanks, Andalona. I have 24 dragon bones. We are rich. Rich beyond my wildest dreams. Actually, what do you have, by the way? Oh yeah, you just do gambeson repairs. I wouldn't mind doing that at some point, but not right now. I have other things at hand. Oh, I forgot about the key again at Gale Rocks. Who has the pissing key to the watchtower? And I need more magic items. How long before the sun goes down? 5 hours. Alright. We can't get there and back. Back to Howls Dell. 1 hour 15. It's tight. Maybe it'll let me? I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit. Right. About your duty. Take 17 dragons and head to the fucking inn. After a long pause, he gives you a grateful nod. Fine. I'll gather my things, leave the gate open, and get moving tomorrow morning. I paid enough blood for my duty. A long pause. But I'm now in your debt, and I'm ready to enter the woods to repay it. Find me in the inn if you ever need my help. I appreciate it. Oh, do you want me to escort you? Nah, no need. I'll stay away from the cursed tree and the ruins. Through paths you won't follow on a horse. Thanks, though. Oh shit, I can't actually get back. Uh-oh. Seek shelter? You can't sleep here yet. You have a possible friend. The closest shelter in Howls Dell, but the creature in that is surely going to attack you. Okay. It cost me a quarter of a heart. I didn't know how this would work, but we've now learnt. Alright. We're going to sleep. And honestly, let's get the health back up again. Get my happy appearance score back up again. I will rent for 2 dragons, because everything else is surplus right now. Perfect. Okay, we'll call this here for this episode. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do in the next part. I feel like the stuff I'm missing in Gale Rocks. I think that is one of my main issues. I might go to the abandoned place, but it kind of spooks me. As does the steep house. They both spook me, because I know there's gobos in here. I don't know what's in the abandoned place. I've learned very little about it, in fact. I was hoping to get this blinding dust, or whatever it was called. But I just don't seem to get into the monastery. To get into the monastery, I need magic items. And I just can't seem to quite get enough magic items together to, you know, do anything. Kind of frustrating, honestly. But I might pay the guy at Gale Rocks to just unveil all the, you know, the people there. I think that wouldn't be a bad port of call first before I start, you know, risking my life. But we are approaching a point now where I'm going to have to go through this middle path at some point, probably. And I have to go into the tunnel, the abandoned place, and possibly the steep house as well. Just to try and find some additional resources, and, you know, if we die, we die. But ideally, obviously, we'd like to get resources to keep me alive. So that we don't die, because that would be bad. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series, because I am. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.